Hey, I'm Tabitha from Life to Paper Publishing. I'm the founder and the official editor-in-chief, and here to talk about what I do at Life to Paper, how I came to do it, what my vision is for the future, and who I serve. But mostly just to let my guard down, really tell my story in that way that I encourage so many people to do. How I came to start Life to Paper is a pretty personal story. It's one of a girl who didn't really feel like she fit in anywhere a lot of my life. And that trickled into my career life too. Just didn't feel satisfied, felt a lot of restlessness for many years. And so finally one day, after hearing my grandmother talk for years about wanting to have her life story written, and she's not a woman who says she's going to do something, talks about it a lot, doesn't really do it. She's a woman of action. She often doesn't ask for help, ever. So I've been hearing about it, and I was working in finance at that time. And so finally I just felt this urge, this nudge, like a tap on the shoulder almost, just to say, why don't you let me get started? And she said yes. So without any guidance, I didn't buy a book, I didn't download a course or anything, I just started. Her and I sat and talked, I recorded videos, I made notes. We went on a trip together to Hungary, where she's from. Started to show me places where things happen in her life. And this thing happened, it never happened for me before. All of a sudden I felt this thing called peace. All the restlessness subsided, and I finally felt like there was nowhere I was supposed to be, but exactly there at that moment. And the thing with me is, though, it was a little scary, and I didn't know what to do with that. So I went back to my job, back to doing what I was doing. And the thing with shoulder taps, when you're a stubborn person, is that the shoulder taps turn to kind of like slaps, and slaps turn to full and life kind of knocked me down, fully down. That meant getting let go from jobs, and finally to the point where I just had to stop everything. And it led me, I took some time for the first time. I went out west, and I worked with somebody, a special person who helps people, coaches. I call him a magician. And then the first time sitting with him, he suddenly pulled up this story about me working with my grandmother, and he had me saying, this is what I was going to do now. This was going to be my purpose and my mission in life, was to do what I did with my grandmother for other people. This was what brought me joy and brought me contentment, and he had me saying it, and then I started. And the thing about starting is and leaning in is, all of a sudden things started to happen for me, like gifts. It's almost like gifts were handed to me. The first gift was, even coming up with the name Life to Paper, that was beautiful. The .com was available. I don't know if any entrepreneurs can relate. The .com's there, it's meant to be. I love that. And then meeting my mentor, I went to my friend's grandmother's funeral, and there my mentor was standing. This man who his life mission was to teach people how to put their lives to paper, and he traveled the world doing that. And I asked him right on the spot, will you be my mentor? He's been with me every day since. He's now my partner in this business. We're doing some great things together now, and we went on to do that. And now the people who I serve light me up. I didn't know at first who it was going to be, whether it was going to be people just my grandmother, and if that's it, amazing. The people who I serve now are people with intentions that are truly to make real positive impact in the world. Their mission is to be change makers, and they are. If there's those people that have found themselves, they've got a story, first of all, and they know it, and they're told that, and they're right now finding themselves in this position where they used to be this observer of life and of people, and now they stepped into the public spotlight perhaps, and now people are all observing them, and they found themselves like, I'm a leader now, hey. But I get to define what a leader is, like my own version of leadership, and that version of leadership means, it's like really interesting what these new young leaders and change makers get to do, is that they get to say, like, I don't have to be like the leaders I looked up to, leaders that were looked up to in the past, that really guard their perimeter very heavily and maybe wait until their careers are over to write their memoirs. Like, I'm going to be really vulnerable, and I'm going to share with you like what I've been through now. I'm going to say like where I've been, where I am, and even where I'm going. And it's like that journey that allows other people to see their lives in your own life and believe in themselves. And I know some of the best stories are the ones like I can see my life mirrored in theirs, even though we've lived completely different lives. And I finish that story and I go out into the world, and it's like I have this like love for a part of myself I didn't have before. That's the impact of a story. And that's what the people that light me up that I work with, it's just truly amazing. I love music, and I think what's different about working with me is like, think of it as like the stories that I write. It's like we make music together. A lot of people say, you're a writer, you do what you do, you must love authors, you must have spent all your time in libraries. I mean, I would like to answer that question and give them the answer they're expecting, but I also am honest, and the truth is I love music. I love, I spend my time when I'm not doing this listening to music, and I think in a way the pieces I produce are like music. They're very much like you page by page, you truly feel like that reader is feeling like they have that conversation, they're having a conversation with that person, real insight into their mind. And the process that client gets to go through with me, they just come to new, genuine realizations about their life that they didn't realize before, Then they come to fall in love with parts of themselves they didn't realize they would before either. That it just lights me up. What I'm doing now is I'm actually getting to work with, getting to point in the direction of people that I want to work with. The beginning of your career, you kind of take in what you get, what you get and stuff, and I learned so much, and I feel like everybody came into my life for a reason. Every story and every client I worked with like played such an important role in my life. The wisdom that I gained from each one, like everyone came so timely too. It was like something I was going through that I needed from that person. Like they would say to me, you don't know what you've done for me, but I would say to them, you don't know what you've done for me. I mean, I could go on and on, but I did want to share more about me, let my guard down, because I do encourage people to do that so much. And I encourage, just reach out to me if this is something you're suddenly like, I'm thinking about this now. Talk to me. I love talking about this. And if it's not me, it's somebody else, and I'll help you find them too. Like, I'm just a ambassador for stories. So if you want to tell your story in a song, in a speech, in a whatever it is, like, let's talk stories. I'm definitely your girl. So love to all.